We are in that situation where we are constantly walking on eggshells or trying to avoid the next rage episode or trying not to set them off, or we just never know what version of them is going to come home from work. We are constantly operating under a state of anxiety. So if you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, we're probably always operating at like a 7 or an 8. And when it keeps us in that hypervigilant state, there can be these small events that happen, like your kid spills their cup, or your cat knocks something off of the table, like things that normally wouldn't create this like almost kind of an explosive response from you. It's because something that normally only would rank you on like a 3 out of a 10 scale, well, when you're operating at an 8 and you have something that is normally a 3, you've just popped the scale. And so you have this like explosive, uncharacteristic response to something that normally wouldn't bother you that much. And then when you do have that response, the narcissist or toxic or manipulative person, whatever you want to call them, they just sit back and watch. And it's almost kind of like they sit back and watch their artwork has just come to life, because they use these kind of events to prove that you were the crazy person. Oftentimes they'll even record them to build evidence that you were actually the problem. Or let's say that they continue to like berate you about like where have you been, or if you like came home from work an extra 5 minutes later than normal, and this is like the 4th time it's happened this week, and they just keep berating you and berating you. Eventually you're gonna crack, because here's the thing. And when I say crack, I mean like eventually you're going to react and get upset and get angry because you're being accused of something that you know that you're not doing, and you have this exaggerated response. And again, the reason that this happens is because they are genuinely trying to build their case well before they even discard you, to prove that you were the crazy person. So they have these stories about you, about like, well, yeah, there's that one time that, she threw the water bottle at the cat whenever he knocked something off the table, and she did this whenever I was just trying to confront her and ask her where she's been, and she just flipped out on me. Or yeah, the kids would spill the drinks and he would just flip out on them, and all this stuff. Like, they literally will use these things that honestly they created in order to make you out to be the crazy person. Now here's the problem when it comes to looking back on those things, is oftentimes we look back on those things and we really get upset with ourselves, and we're mad at ourselves that we responded that way. And it is a dichotomy relationship. There is part of us that, yes, we do need to accept the fact we still acted that way. But it's important that we understand why we acted that way. And the other question that you can ask yourself is, did I ever have these kind of reactions in any other relationship that wasn't, like a toxic one like this one was? And if the answer is no, then that means you are with an individual who is constantly purposefully trying to bring out the worst in you, to prove and make a case against you by bringing the worst out in you. And that's the part that's like, yes, the actions that we did were still our actions, and we're still, at the end of the day, responsible for our actions. However, it's also partially not all of your fault, because you were manipulated to get to that point. And the person that you are sharing your life with, the person that is your partner in life, who you are creating a future with, who you are trying to raise a family with, that person should not be intentionally trying to bring the worst out in you. They should be trying to bring the best out of you and be the best version of themselves, to give you space to be the best version of yourself as well. And that's where we have to try to not take all of the responsibility and convince ourselves that we are completely crazy and that we were completely the problem. Because yes, we did have some responsibility, because at the end of the day, yes, we still reacted that way. But it is not completely our responsibility, because we were manipulated and gaslit and led into that direction for someone else's gain. So I hope this kind of brings some clarity to this issue, because it's a sensitive issue, because we do feel bad for like how we acted, and we do carry that guilt, and we do carry that anger towards ourselves. Like, I can't believe that I acted that way. But we need to understand why we did, so we can also catch it in the future if someone else is trying to do it to us. So again, I hope this was helpful and hope this brought some clarity to kind of why reactive abuse happens and the thought process behind it and how we should respond to it later. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. Please comment on this video if you feel like this was helpful, and also if you feel like this helped bring a little bit more understanding to reactive abuse, and also any thoughts that you might have. I love hearing your guys' thoughts and hearing y'all's stories. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon.